Hi, my name is Julia Verbanic, and I'm going to talk about the management of the Biodiversity Heritage Library. So the Biodiversity Heritage Library is an international archive and digital collection consortium dedicated to the natural sciences. The BHL operates as its own organization, although it is headquartered at the Smithsonian Libraries in Washington, D.C., with a dedicated staff both in the United States and internationally that partners with museums, libraries, and universities around the world. They provide free access to hundreds of thousands of books, journals, photographs, data, etc. that can be accessed anywhere there is internet. The mission of the collection is focused on free access to science research and literature to better participate and collaborate with the global science community. The idea for the collection began in 2003 when a group of scientists at a Andrew W. Mellon Foundation meeting stated that free and open access to natural science literature would be beneficial to the field and study. With the help of funding from sources such as the MacArthur Foundation, this project quickly grew in its online presence, and in 2007 they launched their website with only 300 available titles. Since then, the BHL has grown to include over 200,000 records, from science books to photographs and illustrations, and even scientist field notes and guides. The BHL has also expanded to other countries, including Europe and Egypt in 2009, China, Australia, and Brazil in 2010, Africa in 2013, and Singapore and Mexico in 2014. They are now funded with grants from organizations such as National Endowment of the Humanities and the National Science Foundation, as well as membership and affiliate fees. Every year, more museums, libraries, and academies associate with the BHL to get their libraries and archives online. Some of the organizations from the initial collaboration include the American Museum of Natural History, the Smithsonian Institution, Kew Royal Botanical Gardens, and the Field Museum of Natural History. Since the collection has expanded globally, it now includes such organizations as the Chinese Academy of Sciences in China, Biblioteca Alexandrina in Egypt, the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority in Australia, and the Mexican Society of Entomology in Mexico. So on this slide, we can see the wide range of topics that you can find in the Biodiversity Heritage Library. Some of these topics range from agricultural ecology to algae to microbial ecology, plant lore. There is a huge wide range of all the topics that you can find on the Biodiversity Heritage Libraries. And anyone can go on the website and find any number of sources on any of these topics. It's very user-friendly, it's very easy to access and easy to go through, and it's incredibly informative. So as mentioned in the previous slide, there's a wide range of topics that this library covers, but basically saying it covers the topic of biodiversity, literature, and archives, or basically life on Earth. It covers everything from the species on the planet, all of our ecosystems, the extinctions that we have gone through, are going through, and the climate change that our planet has gone through and is going through and will go through. The Biodiversity Heritage Library serves as a worldwide consortium, which means that there's content from many different sources basically being compiled into one website that's accessible for the whole world. And there is really no metadata standard used across the board for this library. The books and journals use OAI-PMH, which is the Open Archives Initiative Protocol for Metadata Harvesting. And descriptive metadata is stored as either MODS, Dublin Core, or OLEF. Kind of just depends on what it is. And just to finish up our content section, it is organized into collections, as most libraries are, but the specific items can be searched for using the search bar that is shown here. This is the homepage for the Biodiversity Heritage Library. They use a quote that is from E.O. Wilson. Biologists are inclined to agree that it, meaning biodiversity, is in one sense everything. And this basically has been sort of their mission to what content they want to include in the library. It is very inclusive of basically all biodiversity related topics and vocations, meaning that there is a ridiculous amount of information on this library's website.
My name is Joe Schill, and I'll be talking about access to collections at Biodiversity Heritage Library. First, who is the audience? Well, BHL seeks a wide audience, serving over 7 million people in 240 countries and territories around the world since 2006. Basically, BHL has many different types of users around the globe, but its main audience is made up of scientists studying biology, botany, and environmental issues. BHL uses a variety of social media outlets to reach its audience, including Twitter, Instagram, Flickr, and others. BHL's goal is to, quote, ensure that everyone, everywhere, has the information and tools they need to study, explore, and conserve life on Earth, and it seeks to make biodiversity literature openly available to the world as part of a global biodiversity community. Catalog of North American Mammals from 1857. One of the great features of BHL, through its consortium of libraries, it makes a lot of material accessible. This image is from a book that can be viewed, printed, or downloaded from the site. According to BHL, it's expanding its audience to the worlds of art and design by offering over 125,000 illustrations, including ones like this, and also from well-known illustrators such as James Audubon. What sort of search and browsing features are there? Well, publications can be searched by title, author, keyword, date, scientific name, subject, language, and collection. BHL also uses Global Names Recognition and Discovery, GNRD, a taxonomic name recognition algorithm, which searches through all the texts digitized in BHL. You can also browse by title, author, date, collection, or contributor. When browsing by title or author, the user is able to select any letter in the alphabet to jump closer to what they're looking for. Helpful if you forget a name but remember the first letter of the name. Overall, searching features are simple enough for a novice to find what they're looking for, but things like GNRD make it more useful for experts as well. Search results are displayed by type, material, author, publication date, language, and subject. Metadata is linked directly to the item. Material can be downloaded in a variety of formats, including PDF or JPEG 2000, and users can search the text within items. You can also view a single page, 2 pages, or thumbnails. You can adjust the number of columns to view. You can filter your search as well. For example, using the material filter, you could limit your search to archival material, maps, or mixed materials. Using the type filter, you might limit the search to books, articles, collections, or serials, or you could simply filter by date. This library is well organized and has some impressive capabilities. What is the copyright policy at BHL? BHL only includes material that is, quote, freely and openly available for access and responsible reuse, either under the public domain or a Creative Commons license. In-copyright materials are in the BHL collection with the express permission of the copyright holder. Material that is found to be potentially in violation of copyright is removed from the BHL database. This makes it easy for researchers to use material from BHL without worrying about copyright infringement.
Okay, so this is Theresa talking now. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the software. So it's not a prepackaged software. It's actually a little bit complicated, and it has a lot of different parts to it because it was developed in an open source way where they have different parts of it done in different ways. I'm going to go into each one. So the majority of the code, it was done with R OpenSci. I just want to read a quick excerpt from their website. R OpenSci is a nonprofit initiative founded in 2011 by Carter Graham, Scott Chamberlain, and Carbolt Tiger to make scientific data retrievable and reproducible. So our open science is kind of with the open access community, and it really wants to make scientific information that's available on the internet open source to everyone. So they put together software packages for websites and libraries that help with that mission. So they designed the main interface for the VHL, and that was designed by Scott Chamberlain, who was one of the founders of rOpenSci. So then there's some more other stuff that's beyond from the main interface code. Google Analytics was used to search the metadata. So when you're looking for something, the thing you actually want pops up. So that was their code for that. They also use an open URL resolver, which basically determine whether you're allowed to have, when you're searching for something, whether or not you're allowed to have access to it, whether they have the copyright right to have it, and whether the user has access privilege. So that's another part of their code. So I just wanted to talk a little about some of the more technical parts of it that were cited on the website as being part of the development. So they used Macaw, which has gone defunct since 2016, but it is a web developer editor, which just makes the code a little more efficient and looks for errors. So that was used when they were first putting up the code. So it doesn't matter much that it's no longer in business because it was the editor at the time when the site was published. They haven't listed whether they've adapted a new developer yet. And another aspect is Ruby Gems, which is an API and application programming interface. Ruby itself is its own language, so the site was programmed in the Ruby language, which I think is a little unique. But Ruby Gems is a package manager, which kind of makes clear exactly how you're developing the site. It kind of just is more about the structural aspect of the site and making sure everything is done the same way. So the next part is about storage and access. The files themselves are originally kept in JPEGs, although most of the time you'll be getting the files in a PDF form. On the website, you can download the book in total and it will be emailed to you, or you can choose a section of the book or a chapter and that will also be emailed to you. And those would both be in PDFs. There's also ways to get the original JPEG images. Every page will have an image number, which will appear while you're looking at it on the website. And if you use the link on the bottom left along with that number, you'll be able to download the high-resolution version of that picture. On the right is an example of image number 1 million. The site also has a Flickr website with some of their more pleasing images, and those photos can be downloaded right from the Flickr website, and that address is on the upper right.